Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Diamond Diaries. We're going to talk about some real life stuff today, and no, the title is not clickbait. I am taking a step back from social media. It's not in the way you may think. I'm not going to stop posting on YouTube or stop tweeting as much as I do in general. I do want to stay active on my socials, especially since it is the career path I have taken. I do, however, need to take a general step away from absorbing the social media, whether it's scrolling on Twitter, scrolling on TikTok endlessly throughout the day. Whatever it is, I need to take that step back. I'm realizing with the current landscape of social media that it affects me mentally, and I need to space myself away from it because it affects my day to day. And I think many people are probably in a similar position with social media and Twitter and whatever way you involve yourself in social media. And I kind of want to talk about the behind the scenes, the backstory, the lore of why I feel social media has affected me a lot, and kind of share what I'm personally doing to try to right the ship and hopefully not waste all that time on social media. So I guess this starts off with a general conversation of what my perspective on Twitter and YouTube and a lot of these platforms are at this point. At least the things that I see. There's a lot of positivity and good and things to keep up with in social media, like updates and news of stuff. But I find the thing that affects me the most is the negativity. I really heavily involve myself in MLB The Show. I'm involved in Diamond Dynasty Twitter, and the community there is a mixed bag of personalities and different people that feel different ways about the game. And as someone who makes content for a living on the game, it's tough to stay active and keep involved with this Twitter without having it affect you. There's a lot of change in MLB The Show this year in Diamond Dynasty content. From the big set changes and all of that, if you don't know. And these have been very polarizing changes in the mode. People are yelling about the game and content and complaining and yelling at each other if they're right or wrong. And it's a lot. It's a lot to really absorb. And I'm someone who tries to stay positive and make things fun. And I don't want to spend my entire time on social media complaining. So when I see the complaints, it does affect me because it kind of shifts me into their mindset, or it makes me feel a certain way about that negative person. Obviously, I don't want to call them a negative person, but that negative opinion. I found, for example, a lot of people complaining about the Diamond Dynasty cards in the game and the individual programs of these cards where people feel like you're not like getting enough value, so they consistently complain about the cards and the stuff that you get along the way. And I go through, see those opinions, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna look at that card. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna tweet about how I think this card is actually pretty good in spite of those people. That's what would pop up in my mind because I would disagree with an opinion. I felt the urge to share what I thought was the right opinion. And at the end of the day, there's no right or wrong opinion with these things. And those things did affect me, though. It affects the way I look at the game, affects the way that I look at the content I make, and it gets in my own head. And when you endlessly scroll on it, like I do a lot of the time, it definitely slows down my work and makes it very tough to make good, positive content like I really try to do. So for a lot of people on social media, I assume this is a similar case. People probably don't like my tweets. They probably don't like how I try to stay positive in the game. And they're like, oh, I don't want to keep on seeing this doofus. And that's okay. That's just how social media is. Sometimes you get tweets or you get videos that get suggested or thrown out to you that you honestly probably don't want to see. But social media captivates you to want to see tweets or watch these TikToks and get involved in drama that you probably don't care about. So I kind of realized this the other week where I was like, ugh, I'm getting too involved with these opinions and all these things on social media affect me way too much. And it sucks. It sucks to feel held back by the thing that you are actively trying to build a platform on. So for me, I'm trying to find that balance of going on and posting and keeping people updated on social media while also not sticking on it and absorbing social media too much. It's a weird balance. So, in response to the general negativity that I see and all this chaos that has affected me, I've muted a lot of people, even people that I'm somewhat close with that genuinely are giving positive, negative opinions all the time in the game. I'm like, I need to mute because I just can't keep on seeing these. But I realized as time kept going on, I would always find a way to see them. Especially with Twitter, the mute feature doesn't really do enough. Like, if someone comments, it'll still just say, like, oh, this is a muted person. So I end up seeing their reply anyway. So it's a very weird phenomenon. So I'm realizing that, you know what? Muting or blocking or whatever it is with this general negativity doesn't really help crap, you know? Like, the social media platform is going to still lead you that way because that's just what gets attention. So for me, I've decided to try to just space away from, say, Twitter and just try not to be on as often. I had the apps uninstalled for a few days. I'm probably going to uninstall them again because I'm already noticing since I reinstalled them the other day that I just waste so much time scrolling. It's not good. So if you're someone who is watching this who feels a similar way, maybe you get like involved in drama or opinions or things that you really don't want to see. If you're in a similar position, honestly, don't be afraid to just uninstall social media. Even if you're a content creator, someone who is in a similar position as me, who's just trying to get used to making videos each day. I think we all got to find that balance of how often we stay on social media. Even if it doesn't affect you in a similar way that it does me, I think it's just easy to get so caught up in spending time absorbing social media that, you know, for us who create content, we lose out on creating the good content. So I think a good way to go about that, at least to start, is just uninstall the app. I mean, I have an iPad. I should just keep the apps on there for if there's anything I need to tweet out. The iPad is strictly business. The phone is just my own thing, and obviously I'm not keeping the iPad on me at all times. So I should probably do something like that to, you know, try not to get myself on Twitter as often. And I think, you know, probably is a good idea for a lot of other people who are just trying to find that balance with social media. Like, it's so weird that, like, at this point, especially after the pandemic and all of that, where we were basically home on our own and really built on social media for that span of time, just going out and now spacing away from it is a completely weird thing. Even from, like, me, like, I did not realize for how long how much just scrolling on social media affected me and my productivity of things. But I think it's for the best to just create some space and find that balance, even for someone who creates content for a living. I think a lot of other people are in the same boat. So if you're someone who's watching, who is even on here like YouTube or Twitter, don't binge through my videos. If you're someone who is binging through all of my content right now, whether it's on this channel or other channels or whatever it is, just close the phone, step away from the app for at least a little bit, touch some grass, maybe go outside for a bit, and get to what you need to do. Because for me, I realize that social media can slow you down. So we got to keep up with ourselves at the end of the day and take care of ourselves. And that, especially for me, I have to learn that social media and the drama and the things that occur really don't matter that much. It really doesn't. So let's get better together. Let's find that balance with social media. And if you have any suggestions yourself or what you've done to find this balance, let me know in the comments. I'd love to give them a read. But that'll be it for this talk here on Diamond Diaries. You all have a great rest of your day. And I hope to see you here again soon.